All right, as we come back in after talking about the lobs, we have a few things to go over that we didn't talk about before we go to overheads. One of the first things is when you hit a lob, where should you hit it? To the person's backhand. So if I'm going to lob and I hit to Cale's forehand, he's much more likely to crush me than if I hit a lob and I can hit it to a backhand. They're not going to do nearly as much to that ball. So when you lob it, if you can lob over the backhand, that's the strategy you want to hit, this place for your lob. Secondly, we didn't talk about a volley lob, but someone's hit you a softball. This is one of those strategies against the lobber. If you can lob before they lob, you've outlobbed the lobber. So if I can get a ball in a volley, I sometimes will just, nobody expects to get a ball off of a volley that's going to be a lob. So I'll come here and lob that early on, and it surprises them. We had one more question. Do you remember, Trudy, what it was? Did I go over what you wanted?
Yes.
Corey had, if let's say you're not overly mobile and someone has lobbed you, so there's strategies for that when you don't have a lot of speed to get back to the back line and you're trying to go back and neutralize it. Go ahead and explain it, Corey.
So I call it opening your gate, or a drop step. Is when I'm playing against Kyle or Scott Clayson, they lob me because I don't lob ever. Okay, so I'm always doing this. So we're dinking, just dink, and just surprise me. Watch my foot. See how I'm opening, I'm closing, and I go like this. See how I open? And so that I only have to take maybe 2 shuffles, because if they hit a ball that's really good back to the line, I'm just going to say great shot. But if they make a tiny mistake, because I'm open, I do this every time. Watch my footwork every time. Okay, I'm here. I open, hit a short one. Okay, I've opened so that I have a chance to get to the ball. But staying just like this in a dink game and being square like this, and this is how I usually move on the line to get to balls, this gives me a chance to get to a ball. So sometimes I can read Kyle, very rarely. So do one where I really read you. Okay, we're here. I'm already going because I see him starting to do his thing. But that's just knowing him a little bit.
And so know the tendency. If someone you're playing, we all know who the lobbers are. Watch when they get into that position where they're ready to lob. And like Corey said, you open up, you're already ready for them. And once you've stopped a lobber 2 or 3 times, they don't lob you anymore. So having that extra anticipation, like Corey's saying, okay, I'm open. Oh, you didn't lob me? Fine, I can still dink. Oh, you didn't lob me? Oh, this time you did lob me? Boom, I'm moving forward.
You made a mistake that was 5 feet too short and you eat it, a wiffle ball sandwich, and then they don't do it anymore.
Any other questions on lobbing and defending the lob? Yes?
So just like if you're defending a lob, like he opens his hips, but how do you go? I mean, you should tell him how to go back to get a lob, not running, not just backpedaling.
No, it's like this. It's like this. It's almost, you know how you do the karaoke when you were little and you did exercises and stretched? You don't do the full karaoke, but it's kind of like that. It's that same move. So you're kind of running sideways. So here, maybe like a defensive back. You're not full backwards, but it's like a crossover karaoke, a churn.
Yeah, because we have had people get hurt in pickleball. One of the most common injuries is this and
right
you fall
here.
over.
This is the worst thing. I think that's what we're saying. This is the worst thing. Yeah. Boom, trip, head, hospital.
Wrist.
Right, wrist. Yep, that's injury we've seen from all different ages. Okay, so that naturally leads us into overheads. You know, if someone's lobbing, we want to be able to hit an overhead. And we want to be able to hit an overhead to be able to finish a point. And what the biggest thing in overheads? Footwork. Being in the right place. Hitting the ball in the right place. If I hit an overhead, go ahead and lob me.
Okay.
If I hit an overhead and I have it here, that's, how many of us have hit a ball like that? What did I do wrong? 1, I didn't watch the ball. 2, I had the ball way behind me. And 3, I swung out of control. So instead, when I'm going to hit, if someone lobs me, sorry, Corey.
It's okay.
When someone lobs me, the first thing is I'm well behind the ball, so I'm striking it as far out in front of me as I can. Second, my head is up. I am watching the ball. I see this all the time. Who knows where that ball went? I never saw it. So head up here. And then the third thing is you need to be leaning forward. I can't be on my back foot to be hitting an overhead. So just like a lob, I get back, I shift my weight, and I come forward. So that's the mechanics of it, those 3 things. get behind the ball, catch it high with your head up, and be leaning forward. If you do those 3 things, you don't necessarily need to hit a ton of power. You just need to have that good form with it. So I'll lob you guys. We'll have you hit a few.
All right.
So when they hit this lob,
Go ahead.
so again, you might not win the point on the lob, but the goal is to have that ball out in front of you as much as you can. Sorry. But the idea is you can see their footwork. They're taking those couple steps back, they're here, and they're going forward with the ball. They're not hearing him grunt, you're not hearing him overswing. But the thing I see most of us do, and it's what Corey and Bob were just talking about. Go ahead and hit me a lob. Is that where we take straight steps backwards, we catch a ball way behind us, and we say, well, this is an overhead, so I have to hit as an overhead, but I'm hitting it right here. That's not an overhead. That's not a good overhead. That's a point you'll lose every time. So if that ball has gotten behind you, they've hit a great lob, we go right back to what we just talked about a minute ago. Let that ball drop, let it bounce, hit a drop shot, or if you have to, hit a lob and get back into the point. Don't hit an overhead from bad positioning. You're going to lose that point. Either one, you're going to hit it very soft and they're going to hit an overhead back at you, or 2, you're going to shank it out of bounds or you're going to hit it into the net. But again, mechanically, the things that we make a mistake with, the ball's behind us, our head is down, and our feet, we're leaning backwards. Those are the 3 things as we go around and we drill this that we want to work on. And we're not going to give lobs to each other that look like this height right here. That's not practicing a lob. We want lobs that are up like this so we can practice. Sorry guys, a lefty and a righty. We want lobs that are, you know, that height so we can practice it. And there's going to be the ones where you say, yep, that's not one to smash. And yep, that one is one to smash. So we don't have to, every one of these that we're going to practice here, you don't need to swing hard on every one. If you aren't in the right place, don't swing. I want you to practice on not hitting an overhead when the ball is not in a place where you should hit an overhead. But then when your feet are set, check. Head up, check. Out in front, check. Those are the 3 things I want you to watch as we hit these overheads. Practicing overheads isn't nearly as easy as practicing many other things because you hit a ball and pretty much it ends the point right there. So we're going to practice these where people are going to lob it from the baseline. And if you can control it and you can hit multiple lobs in a row, that's fine. But catch it and re-hit it. So this doesn't go as quick as other drills, but we all need to practice hitting them from the right. I'm not worried about having someone lob you and hit an over from that right now. We just want to see your mechanics are right. Weight's on your front foot, you're leaning forward, your head is up.
Hey, Kyle?
Yes?
Both of these guys point with their offhand at the ball in front. Will you just kind of explain why they're doing that?
Well, and one of the big reasons with that is if you go back and you have your hand up to hit their overhead, your hand is up. 1, look where I'm pointing, out in front of me. I'm not pointing here, I'm pointing out in front. 2, it helps me remember I'm being forward with it, and it gets your body in the right coiled position. I can then jump forward into the ball. So I can't come back here and be off my back foot and hit a ball, but I'm here and then fire through it. So if you have time to do it, and that's great. If you don't do it that way, that's fine, but you can, because again, it just helps you get in the right position to hit that shot. Does that answer that?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back out. I want everyone to go to a different court this time. Oh, well, I guess there's one more thing. Backhand lobs. Yeah, they're not good. I mean, you don't see many powerful backhand lobs. Go ahead. The biggest thing with a backhand lob is you gotta be, same thing, you've got to catch this ball out here. I'm not looking to win the point as much as I'm looking for them to not get an advantage. So hit me a...
Okay, here we go.
I want to catch it as much as I can. So even with that, I did as well as I could, but they had the advantage on it. That's why we lob to the backhand, because not many people have much of a smash for their backhand. But the key is I need to catch it here. Most people's backhand lobs look like this. That's my forehand.
Ready?
That's their backhand lob. I mean, their backhand smash. It turns into a lob. Because you catch that ball, do it one more time, you catch that ball here with your paddle open, and it goes up in the air like that. You have to get that ball out here. And I've even seen some people, they'll come here with their hand and then fire through it. Hit me one more. So they'll come here, and that helps you get more power because you can actually resistance and fire through that. So we can practice a few backhand lobs too. But again, the biggest thing with the backhand You got to catch it out front. If you don't catch that backhand out front, you're never going to hit a good one. One last technical thing, as we have a tournament coming up in 2 weeks, this happens much more than any one of us realize. Hit me, lob. Hit me a better lob. All right, not that's too good of a lob. Halfway in between. Here we go. One more time. What happened right there? Anybody see?
Yeah.
Took 4 times to show it, but finally did. We'll hit it. We'll have lobs hit to us, and then we jump off and never get that foot reestablished. And I'll hit an overhead from back here. Those aren't perfect lob examples for me to be able to. But that lob off, I'm way back here and say, how come you're calling me for a kitchen fault? Because my initial jump off foot never got down before I hit the ball. I can get called for a kitchen right here. We're going to have a lot of certified refs here. They're going to catch people doing this a lot. So make sure your push-off foot, if that, I felt myself falling, uh-oh, I'm in trouble, so I'll drag that foot before I hit it. Make sure your push-off foot isn't in the kitchen. All right, any questions? All right, head out to a different court. We'll come around and help you.